everyone, it is Jillian here at Connections Early Years Family Center. Today is going to be super fun because we are talking about kites. So for today, we're building on that same theme of physical literacy, and that we talk about different ways to get you and your children outside, having fun, enjoying the fresh air, and learning all at the same time. And today we're going to talk about all the benefits of flying kites, as well as how to build our own kite, just in case you don't have any flying around your house. We're going to start off by building our kite, and we will talk about the benefits of them a little later on, but first we're just going to go over how to build a really simple kite that's very quick and inexpensive, just so everyone can have the chance to enjoy these without having to go to the store and buy a plastic kite. So for this, we're going to start with one long stick. So I will also include a link to the websites that I used, how to learn to build a kite. But the first thing that you're going to do is find one long thin stick. I chose a bamboo rod because it's hollow and therefore a little bit lighter. And then the only part that you're going to want a little bit of parent assistance is you're just going to take a little handsaw, it could even just be a sharp knife, and you're going to get a good angle, so we're being safe. You're just going to saw through the bamboo rod. Nice and slow. So that is the most difficult part of building the kite, and of course you are going to want to help your children do that, have them maybe just kind of watch and stand by while you use the tools. But after that, it is all easy going, in which case we are going to take some string. And I just have a big knotted one here because I'm trying to reuse what we already have. You're going to take a piece of string and you're going to tie these two pieces together in almost lowercase t shape. You're going to try and make them as tight as possible. And again, you're going to have to do a little bit of helping out with your children just to make sure it's tight. You don't want anything flying away. So you're going to make it as tight as possible. And again, if this is difficult, do feel free to improvise. So that could be anything from duct tape to a little bit of glue. It's all about just making a homemade kite, which half the fun is problem solving as you go. So there you go, we have our little lowercase t, and it is not perfect looking, but it will do the job. One step that you don't want to forget is before you glue anything down, you want to take some string and you're going to tie it all the way around the edges to make a frame for your kite. So when you're done tying your string tight around the four edges, maybe with a little bit of help from some duct tape, you're going to lay it down on your newspaper and you're just going to cut around it, even if it's a little bit uneven. You just want to cut about 1 inch around the edge of your string. So at the end we will be folding this over and we will be taping it down. So this is similar to what your kite might look like. If you are a little more ambitious, you might have like some nice colors, maybe a drawing. But as soon as you have your frame taped up, the last thing you have to do is you're going to take a string. This will be untangled. You're going to take a string and you're going to tie it, first of all, to the handle of the kite, because this is going to anchor it. And then you'll take the other end with no knot in the middle, and you're going to tie it to anything that you want to hold. I would just pick this stick and tie it together as my handle, which you will see in a minute. So we are back with our fully taped up kite, and it is also strung. And I decided just to use the spool as my actual handle, just to kind of, save as much string as we can. If it doesn't all get used up, we just wind it up, which is great. But like I said, it isn't the most beautiful kite, but if you look, the basic science of this is the same. The air will catch it underneath, and on a windy day, this not so beautiful kite will still fly. So we are are here in Lansbury Park, where we are going to try giving both of our kites a fly, both my store-bought kite, which I've had since I was 10, as well as our homemade kite that we made back in our good friend's garden. So just a couple things before we get started. The main one is, whenever you are flying a kite, like many outdoor activities, safety is your first priority, which means we're going to always look where we're flying before we actually start our activity. So we want to look around. We don't want to see any telephone wires, any kind of wires or building that we might hit. Wires are obviously very dangerous, whether they're electrical or not electrical. We don't want to come in contact with them. So make sure that you scan the area, make sure it's a safe place to fly your kite, and also help your child learn to recognize those things for themselves, to help with their development of learning how to take risks and being able to judge risks as they grow older. A couple benefits before we start, because we did promise we would talk about these. One benefit of kite flying is, of course, the physical activity. As you get started, you're going to have to run with the kite, so it's a little bit of cardio as you're running with the kite. As it takes off, there's going to be a lot of pulling on your handle, and there's going to be a lot of vibrations coming down the kite depending on how strong the wind is. So for that, it's sensory, because you're feeling something that's kind of taking its own kind of energy, which is a very different experience. It's almost similar to walking a dog in some senses. So you have to use your muscles, you have to use your coordination and your balance, and you have to really practice getting the right air current for a kite, which is also a really great way to just learn about wind and incorporate some of our natural environment into our learning. Today is a great day to fly kites. Any day with a little bit of wind is good. Ideally anything after 15 kilometers an hour, you should be able to get your kite off the ground. So we are going to give it a try. That is it for our video on how to fly a kite and why it is a lot of fun. I hope everyone gives it a try. As you can tell, it is a lot harder than it looks. There is lots of running around, trying very hard to get our kites in the air. So it's a great way to just go to the park, have some fun, and a little bit of a workout. And if you want, try your own creative skills at building a kite. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you for connecting with us.